Do you know what a movie sound designer does? Probably a lot more than you think. We're here at Skywalker Sound, part of George Lucas's famous Skywalker Ranch outside of San Francisco. Star Wars was recorded here, of course, E.T., Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones, indie movies like Beasts of the Southern Wild, and some of this year's Oscar movies like Her and All Is Lost from the director J.C. Chandor. It was nominated for its sound design, which happened right here. Let's go listen to some of the experts in making explosions pop and waves crash tell us about their art. Sound design is one of those things that people have only a vague understanding of what it is.
Different people approach it in different ways. I approach it very musically, so to me sound design is not just making a specific sound, but it's also kind of scoring a movie with sound effects.
And in fact, very few of us are engineers. It's, thinking about what the appropriate sound is, kind of casting sounds in the way that a casting director would cast actors.
A big part of our job as sound designers is to kind of transport ourselves there, to imagine that we're on a boat in the middle of the Indian Ocean and then imagine what we would hear.
So any kind of sound that we hear in a movie is added after the movie is shot?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and especially with this movie.
Virtually all of the sounds of that boat and the ocean around the boat and the gradual deterioration of the boat were invented in post-production and orchestrated in very much the same way you'd orchestrate a piece of music.
What kind of direction did you get from the director when you were making this movie?
They shot most of the movie at Redford's eye line so that we were seeing what he was seeing. And for a sound designer trying to tell a story, that's like a huge opportunity because you're playing with POV and you get a chance to kind of modify the sound and filter it through the perception of the character. So we were able to actually treat the boat and the sounds around almost as if they were another character. And as things were getting more difficult for the Redford's character, the sounds started to change in the boat. When he was climbing up to the top of the mast to try to fix the radio, the higher he got, the more we started to wash away the comforting sounds of the boat and the things that we've gotten used to. And we start focusing just as he does on the sounds of the mast and the sounds of the equipment as he's climbing up there further and further. And then in the distance, you hear, before we see, this big, deep, low thunder. And what we were trying to convey was this is a big moment for him. Things are about to really, really change, and we wanted to hear it the way he heard it.
One of the things that you train yourself to do early as a sound designer is to not think literally about sound. In The Right Stuff, which was an early film that I worked on, one of the principal sounds of Chuck Yeager's rocket plane accelerating is me scraping my fingers on a chalkboard.
We had recorded a ferry out in the bay, just the bow wash. You hang the mic right down close to it. It's got a lot of spray, but it also has a lot of real low frequency kind of rumble to it. So I just cut that through the whole scene using one of these guys, little joystick. As you watch the movie, as the boat's going to and fro and up and down, I would move this with it. And if you were listening to just that, it almost makes you seasick because you feel the whole room kind of going like this.
One of the great things about movie sound is that people's perception of sound is so malleable that you can get, as a sound designer, as a filmmaker, you can get away with almost anything in terms of sound because people will tend to accept what they're presented and you will unconsciously kind of invent a story to allow it to make sense.
I'm shocked how many times people thought that we recorded a storm or thought that all happened right then and there live. And I guess that means we did our job right.